Wow, isn't it like beautiful? Yeah, it is. But I broke it. This amplifier was given to me from a friend who wanted the thing to work better because it was full of dust and in need of a good restoration. I cleaned the pots, I cleaned most of the board, even though it's very hard to remove them because they are all wired together and there are absolutely no plug on the wire to remove them. I didn't want it to desolder everything, so I kept everything inside the chassis. Unfortunately, while doing a bit of maintenance, as I was brushing, I accidentally touched one of those things, and the things are kind of weird. They don't look like any component I have ever seen, but indeed they are potentiometers, and they are here to set the bias voltage on each channel. So this one is for the left, and this one is for the right channel. As I was brushing off, I slightly readjust the spots, and then, well, as I wanted to test the amplifier again, when I pulled out the volume, I just saw a big puff of smoke and this light bulb light ups. Yeah, so this light, I'm not very sure how this works, but I think it's to limit the current. And these are all the components I swapped. So most caps, even the big one. Also some of the lamp here that I'm also going to change. And these are the faulty transistor, and they are all cracked. And so I managed to find some original replacements, brand new on eBay. So I'm going to put them in place, but then I will need to readjust the bias potentiometer, but I don't know the exact angle at where it was, and it's extremely delicate, and like the slightest movement can change the whole value. Like it's quite hard to do it just by the eye. So I will need to make some measurements on the working channel to then later check this one. But to be really honest, I have never done this before. It's my first time actually working on a power amp section thing. So yeah, let's hope I actually don't break this thing even more. But before doing that, I want to show you exactly how an amplifier works so that you can easily understand what I'm doing on this one. Let's go on the whiteboard. Let's start simple. We want to amplify a small signal into a larger signal good for the speaker. How can we do that? Well, we could simply use a simple transistor circuit, which would be basically this kind of circuit. This is very simple and just self-explanatory. I don't want to go to too much detail. This kind of circuit would kind of work, except that it only has a positive voltage. The thing is that sound is half positive and half negative, so we need to duplicate these circuits for the negative voltage rail. And this will give us this kind of circuit, which in theory could work. And we have the positive quarter bridge, the negative quarter bridge in here. Each one of them capable of delivering some power, so this one for the positive and this one for the negative. Alright, pretty simple, right? And this configuration is called a half bridge. This is pretty typical for the driving speaker, motors, or pretty much anything related to power. And by the way, if you want to know what a full bridge is, the little setting on your amp for quadrupling the power, it's basically just the same circuit duplicated on the other side, and it's in reverse polarity with this inverter. Not very complicated. Each one of those circuits see half of the speaker. So if it's an 8 ohm speaker, each one of them see a 4 ohm speaker with a higher voltage on the output, because now we can have this rail going here and this rail going here. And now the speakers see a voltage difference of VCC minus VDD, which is, well, double the voltage you should see when it's just connected to ground, right? But that's not what I wanted to show in this example. This circuit works very nicely for driving motor, but for driving a speaker, it's not very great because of the transistor topology. In fact, a transistor is basically a simple switch that can be controlled by a little voltage and can pass a larger voltage and a larger current. This is pretty much an amplifier by itself, but it needs a little bit of voltage here to make it basically start, which is called the bias voltage. In general, for most amplifier and most PNP and NPN transistor, this voltage is going to be between 0.4 to 1.2 volts, in general 0.6 volts of bias. So we need to add this voltage to this rail so that it compensates the bias voltage. So you're probably familiar with diode having a voltage drop. If we put high on the value here, like 5 volts, and here ground, in here I will have basically 0.6 volts, which is exactly what we want for our circuit. So we can do this kind of configuration, which would work fine, but it's not very good and just great for simple example or for very simple amplifiers. Most amplifier has two stages of power. This is the voltage stage, and then we have the actual power amp, which is the current amplifier. Which is this section that can actually be duplicated multiple times to have a much better power and a much better impedance, because of course transistor has an internal impedance that can lower the output voltage, and then you get an amplifier that has a lower power. So if you want a higher power amp, just this circuit in parallel. And you will also put a little resistor in here, because none of the transistor has the exact same gain and the exact same specs. So to compensate everything and don't short circuit the transistor, we just put 1 or 2 ohm resistor in here, as low value as we can get. In here there will be some kind of bias circuit that gets a signal and put it in offset, and then yeah, we pretty much almost have an amp. We just need to get the output backfeeding through here and into a differential amplifier. I don't remember if it's the correct orientation of the sign, but anyway, we get it. And then we have an actual amplifier. On the output, one of the times I put what we call a Bushro filter. If I remember right, it's a coil and a resistor, and this is to compensate the speaker, which is mainly a capacitive load. Yes, I know it's a coil inside, but it's a capacitor kind of load related to the amplifier. That's because of the membrane suspension that is loading the amplifier, and you know that a speaker can become a microphone with a voltage in between his leg if we put sound through it, or if we force it to vibrate. And when a subwoofer, for example, is vibrating, it's not in phase with the amplifier, and so it's backfeeding some voltage. And this is why we absolutely need this loop, this feedback. Most of the time we will have some kind of RC circuits in here, just to don't feedback the whole signal, just a little fraction of the signal. I'm not super sure about this, but yeah, it's basically why we have some muddy amplifier and some very dry amplifier. That's basically just this capacitor here. So I start by measuring the voltage drop between the series resistor, which is those one here, but it's a very small voltage, and yeah, my big fluke thing won't be able to measure anything because it's like 0.1 volt resolution. So I can't use this thing, unfortunately. And I could be using this thing, but it's all Chinese and not very good quality. I don't really trust the thing to be very precise. But thankfully, a professor gave me this thing here, which is a very high quality multimeter, desk multimeter. Yeah, made in France. That's not something we see that often. Metrics, very high quality stuff. Yeah, what a nice resolution. Let's measure the voltage. 4.7 millivolts. Let's check on the other one just to be sure. Yeah. So this is the potentiometer here, and it's driving this transistor and then feeding some bias voltage to the voltage amplifier that then send power to the current amplifier, which are this one, which I toasted. But I don't know if when I adjust the pot to the left, it will decrease the bias voltage, or to the right. I can't really be very sure, and since I'm quite new to this kind of circuit, I can't really identify whether if this is the positive rail or this side, because there is a capacitor with a plus here. Yeah, I'm kind of lost, so to make sure that I don't adjust the thing in the right way, I'm going to make some measurements while the current amplifier transistor are not soldered back, and then I'll be able to know which direction I need to turn this little pot. And I really need to do that because the transistors are very tiny and very fragile, so if I put the wrong bias voltage into them, they can burn like in a millisecond. So if I want to adjust it lower and I turn it higher, yeah, the second after they are toasted. So yeah, knowing the direction is very important. And to know that, I'm going to probe in here, which is the voltage that goes to the power current amp here. And I will just probe here and turn slightly the potentiometer to see whether this voltage is rising or lowering. So we have 5 millivolts here. If I adjust it higher, now we've got 6. Readjusting lower. Again, 5.4, yeah. So clockwise is higher, counterclockwise is lower. That's quite logical. So now that I've got all of those parameter sets, I can now replace those transistors in here and then set the bias voltage. They're replaced. I remove this thing so that I can touch physically the component to see if they are warm. Alright, I'm super stressed out because I've never done that before, but yep. 1, 2 and 3, let's go. Alright. For now everything is fine. So if I measure the bias voltage on our mesh, it should be 0 or very close to 0 because I turn it all the way down. Yes, that's it. Shit, I need a screwdriver. Nope. Nope. Alright, now let's adjust it very slowly. Voltage is getting higher. Let's get closer to 3 point something millivolt. Alright. And now that's done, let's wire it off and let's cool everything, because bias voltage should be set while the thing is cold. Alright, everything is reset. Now let's see. Almost 4 millivolts. And a bit under. Let's put it a tiny bit higher. Yeah, just a slight adjustment and that's be done for this one, I think. Almost 5 millivolts, and now here almost 5 millivolts. So I want to put the clamping plate back in place, and there is this rubber thing for the compensating transistor. What I'm going to do is put the thing, but not squeeze it on all the way. But now I can slide it. Alright, now it's good. And final check. Let's go. 2.7, 2.8, 2.9. It seems to be quite nicely balanced. Now I don't have to deal about thermal runaway because the heatsink is nicely coupled to the transistor. And I put some new thermal grease. So now I'm ready to test this thing with sound. First, let's tidy up a bit the place. Oh shit. Okay, it's now time to test the thing. So I connected an oscilloscope so that I can check system vitals like DC offsets and crossing signal, and also check that the left channel is as loud as the right channel. Yeah, so let's go. All right. I'm going to play a 1 kHz signal through this. And yeah, look at that. Yeah, the signal. I'm here at maximum volume. Well, let's go over the signal and zoom on this part here. And yeah, we don't have any crossing angle here with the little flat spot. So that means that the bias voltage is correct. That is nice. And also we don't have any DC offset, so this is the middle, and yeah, the signal isn't shifted up right or down right, so it's nice. Oh yeah, I think the thing is repaired. That's nice. I'm going to test it with a speaker just to make sure. Yeah, alright, it's nice. I can remount it back together, and yeah, this one is going to be good to go. It looks nice. And that's it for this one. I hope you liked the video. This was the first time I've actually worked on the amplifier section of an amp. Yeah, it was kind of hard, but now I feel much more confident working on this amp. So much confidence that I might have gone a bit crazy about some projects. That's too much tease for this one. Anyway, I hope you liked this video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I see you very soon. Have a nice day.